Going to change a couple of things. So hop in, say hello, let us know where you're from, let us know if you're new here. Okay, got that post, got that saved. Should be good. So our keyword today is manger. We have the theme is, hey Tracy, hey Margaret, thanks for sprinkling. The theme of this mini marathon is away in a manger, so we're picking the word manger. That will get you entered into our monthly drawing, and it will also give you some other information. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to wait just a second to get a few people on. And Bill's by the way, my husband Bill, behind the computer, behind the camera. And
trying to find the pinned comment so I can put it up there.
I'm going to pull this up here on my screen till he gets ready. Sorry, we kind of seem a little uncoordinated. Hey, Jackie. Well, good evening, Jackie, to you. And I said hi to Margaret. So hello, everybody. We got a few people hopping in. And I know the last crafter is just finishing up, but we have 45 minutes, and I'm going to do 2 projects with the same theme. So that was our cat. That was our kitten, Rocky. I think he just jumped into the trash can. I don't know. I don't see where he went. Anyway, so let me start by telling you where I got my theme. We raised 2 boys, and some of you may have kind of tackled the same issues as they're growing up, and the world is celebrating Christmas with Santa Claus and reindeer and gingerbread men and all of that good stuff. And as believers, we were always kind of torn between the real meaning of Christmas and all the Santa things. We didn't want our kids to miss out on Santa type things, but we wanted them to understand the real meaning of Christmas. And then we found this statue. Actually, we found it at a gift shop at Knott's Berry Farm. And it has been our first and favorite and most meaningful decoration every year. And it's this right here. It is the Kneeling Santa. This is a statue by R.P. Gower, anyway. But this kind of sums everything up for us and how we decided to raise our kids. We didn't want them to miss out on the Santa-y stuff, but we did want them to realize that it wasn't the real meaning. So this is just perfect. So here we have the manger with the baby Jesus, and here's Santa kneeling down, worshiping Jesus, which is so meaningful to us, so that the kids can realize we can play along with the Santa things, but even Santa, even the fun stuff, kneels down to the true meaning of the reason for the season. So I hope that makes sense. So this has been meaningful to us. So we're going to do a little decor piece and an ornament using this theme. So who have I? Sue. Hey, Cheryl. Welcome. Another Cheryl. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to pray my shelf is strong enough, because you will see me cry if this falls off the shelf and breaks. So that's our inspiration. I went on Google and I typed in Kneeling Santa, and I found some artwork. Now, disclaimer, I took it off of Google. I did not purchase it, so I will not sell this. I will not make money off of it, because I don't own the rights to it. So I'm just doing it for personal use. So I found, I got my little magic box of supplies here. So I found So I found this artwork.
Can you see out the window? Huh?
The kneeling sun. Oh, we have snow. This is our very first snow of the season. So if I get a little distracted, it's because it's snowing right out my
fluffy
window.
flakes.
So I found this one, and I found this one, and I just printed them off, and we're going to use them to decoupage. Now, I could just decoupage the paper, but I wanted it to look a little, it doesn't always decoupage super well. So what I did is I copied the print onto tissue paper. So here I have this, and I copied it onto tissue paper. So you might be wondering, how did you copy it on tissue paper? This is going to be so much easier to decoupage. What I did, let me get my little samples out. What I did is I took tissue paper. I took pretty good quality tissue paper. I didn't take the Dollar Tree stuff. And I cut it the size of a sheet of paper and a little bit longer. And then I take this tissue paper and I line it up with my paper. You could also do cardstock, and I just bend over that little extra bit, and I tape that down. Do I have tape here? I do have tape here. So I tape that down, and then I run this little packet through the printer.
Sort of glad the dogs didn't go out the door with me.
Okay, so I've got this tissue paper taped to my copy paper. Now, when I run it through the printer, I have to know my printer. I have an inkjet printer, and it copies on the bottom. So this is the tissue paper. I want it to be on the bottom. I want that to be where the printer lays down its ink. And I want this folded edge to be the edge that gets pulled into the copier. So I lay mine down like this, and it goes through, and it comes out, and then I have the print on the tissue paper. Every once in a while, it will kind of mangle it up, but this, having it folded over and taped, kind of keeps it from getting the tissue paper getting all wadded up and stuck in your printer. So that's what I did, and that's going to give me my decoupage medium. So
that answered the question, Margaret? It
which
looks like it
side?
did.
And again, it depends on your printer. Some people have a printer that prints from the top, and to do that, I just have the paper in there. I pull out the drawer. I put an X on one side or the other of my paper. I run it through and print something, and then I look to see where did it print. Did it print on the back of that X? If it did, then I know it prints from the bottom. Did it print on the side of the page with that X? Then I know it prints from the top. Anyway, so give it a try, practice it. Just make sure you don't have a loose edge going through first. You want that taped edge going through first. So what are we going to put this on, you ask? Well, I have a little bamboo cutting board. I want a little small shelf sitter, or I might even make it so that it hangs on the wall. This is just a little bamboo cutting board from the Dollar Tree. It is, let me see, it's about 8.5 by 6 inches wide. So that is going to be one of our surfaces, and I already pulled one out and painted both sides of it. I painted it Waverly Chalk plaster color. I didn't want it bright white. I wanted it a little off-white, but you definitely want something solid underneath this when you decoupage it. And then we are going to do some ornaments, and I got from Walmart this pack of their wood, what are they? They're called coasters, but they're wood slices. They come 4 to a pack, and I drilled holes in them. So these are wood slice coasters that we're going to use and make as an ornament. So let's see. Let's get started, shall we? So let's start. I'm going to show you. I'm going to paint this up for you. So I've got my plaster chalk paint. You can also use acrylic. Wish I could be with you all decorating for the luncheon. Oh yes, that's tomorrow. Okay. So I'm just going to use my little sponge brush, and I'm going to paint this up. So I do want a solid color background because that tissue paper will kind of become transparent. Thank you for sprinkling, Deborah. Just a light coat.
Right on the Lupus here. Hi, y'all.
Okay, that's all I'm going to do with that. And I'm going to give that a quick dry. If that's in my way. Oh, I hope everybody, it's been a whole week since Thanksgiving. Can you believe it? It just seems like it was just yesterday. Hello, Country Recreations. Thanks for sprinkling. Hi, Sharon. Good afternoon to you. Made on the loop. Yes, Jackie. Yeah, you could do it just with paper, but the tissue paper, to me, is a lot easier to decoupage with. So I've got that covered. And next I'm going to decoupage with Mod Podge, but I like doing the dry method. So I have, this is matte finish. It does not matter if it's matte or not, because it's going to be covered up, and I'm just going to take a good coat of that, not super thin, not super thick. I'm going to make sure I have a nice coat on the edges. So I really want those edges to stick down.
Girl says she needs to go to work in a bit. I just, Tom Knight said you could take some time off.
Yeah, we'll send you a note.
Bill said so.
Okay. So just a bit of Mod Podge, and I'm going to hang on to that because I'm going to use it again for the top. And I want this dry. You can Mod Podge with it wet. I just don't like dealing with bubbles and wrinkles and all that good kind of stuff. So that I can do it and bypass all of those wrinkles. So Mod Podge down, dry it. It's hard to tell if it's dry if it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. Thanks. Timer. Rose wants to know how Bill is feeling. I'll let him answer.
I am doing better than I should be. I'm bruised and sore, but I'm doing all right. I'm up and about. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Mr. Bill had a little accident on our 4x4.
Rolled it over out in the field when my boys were here.
Rolled it over on himself, which is not advised to do. But thankfully, he came out of it alive. So again, I just pulled this off of my printer paper, and I'm going to put this down so I'm going to iron it. So I'm going to lay this here
I think it's Cindy's watching from Florida. She doesn't have snow at her place.
No
Hello,
snow.
Gerald.
Okay, and I'm kind of lining it up so it hangs straight from the hole I have up there.
Your cat is dusting all the cobwebs out of the everywhere.
Okay, so I'm laying this down on my dried Mod Podge, and now I'm going to get a sheet of parchment paper. Parchment, not wax paper, but parchment paper. Okay, to protect my iron from any of the inks that come up.
There's Rhonda. Hello, Rhonda.
And I'm just going to use my little mini iron, and it's on high. And what this does is it reactivates that Mod Podge enough to stick to the paper. Welcome to come here and enjoy some of our snow. I have that doubled, so it's kind of up.
Hello, Vicky.
Vicky. Okay. Now I'm making sure I get those edges. I want them to stick. And I'm going to check that all of my edges are stuck down. And so that is down very smooth, no wrinkles. And it looks like all my edges caught. And I'm going to take a sanding block and just use it. It's snowing in Spokane too. You're a couple hours north of us. So I'm just going like straight down the edge to trim that tissue.
So Sandy says she's in Louisiana, never snows there, just mosquitoes. Does it snow mosquitoes?
Well, you should know. We get those mayflies. Are they mayflies?
No, those are.
What are those?
Ash beetles.
Ash flies.
Ash beetles.
It's as bad as snowing. Okay, so I've got the edges all off of that.
Where are you at, Vicky?
And
it's snowing like crazy there.
I'm going to put down another layer, just a top layer of the Mod Podge, to just kind of seal it, give it a little bit of a shine. Again, this is the matte Mod Podge, so it does have a bit of a shine, not a ton. Will also help protect that tissue paper because it is paper. So it could get it could collect moisture over time. Okay, and we're going to let that dry a bit. So it's a little cloudy because the Mod Podge hasn't dried, but there is our ornament. Now let's do our cutting. California moved to Spokane 3 years ago. Sounds a little similar to us. We were born and raised in Southern California, and 4 years ago moved to Idaho. So I'm doing the same thing with this cutting board. I'm putting down a layer of Mod Podge and I'm going to dry it. And if you weren't here when we first started, we are using the theme, the Kneeling Santa, for our project today because that is a very sentimental decoration for us. It's our first Christmas decoration to go up every year. We used it to teach our boys how to navigate between the worldly take on Christmas, commercialized, and the true meaning of the true meaning of Christmas, because we wanted them to be able to experience both, but keep things in proper perspective. And this little statue meant a lot to us. It shows that we can go ahead and play along with the Santa, play along with the commercial stuff, but realize that all of it in the end bows down to Christ. Okay. So I've got a layer of Mod Podge here. I'm going to dry. You have just boys. Yes, we have 2 boys. They are men now. They are 36 and 38. And again, I got this design from I Googled it. I saw it, but I will not market it. I won't sell it. I won't make money off of it. It's just going to be for private use. You can also, if you don't want to do that, you can take your old Christmas cards, thrift store Christmas cards, cut the fronts of them off and use them to Mod Podge onto ornaments. Lots of ways that you can get designs. There are quite a few designs on Google, on the internet. Download, print out for yourself. Okay, so here's our big thing. Santa has nothing to do with Christ, but everyone seems to want to do the Santa thing at Christmas. I'm trying to do more about Jesus this year. Absolutely. Again, we didn't live in a hole. Our kids saw the Santa stuff, but we wanted them to realize that there was more to Christmas than that stuff. So this was what we did to help them navigate that. Okay, so this is my bigger. Smooth out some wrinkles. Again, I'm going to put down my parchment paper so that my iron doesn't pick up any of the ink. I have my iron and my iron is on high, but I'm not spending any amount of time in any one place, so I don't want to scorch anything. But the heat is re-melting that Mod Podge and causing it to adhere to the tissue paper. Making sure I get those edges and corners really well. And I'm going to check. Checking to make sure my corners are all adhered. I'm going to take a sanding block.
While you're doing the sanding, can you explain one more time to Gail what you're putting the tissue paper on and how you're putting it through the printer?
Well, okay, let me get my hands free. Basically what I did is I run it through the printer, but I attach the tissue paper to a sheet of printer paper. So the printer paper kind of becomes the guide. And I'll show you how I do that in just a moment. Okay, I've got that, all that sanded off. Okay, let's see. So I took a sheet of good quality white tissue paper. You don't want to use the cheap Dollar Tree stuff because you don't want it to disintegrate in your printer. And then I took just a sheet of white copy paper and I line these up. This is a little bit longer than my copy paper. I line it up and take that excess, fold it over, and tape it down. Just a couple of snips of tape. And then this becomes the package that I run through my printer. This is where I want the printer to grab it, where it's folded and taped. And then your printer, you have to decide whether it's going to print from the bottom or the top. And that will determine how you put this in. Does that make sense? So my printer prints from the bottom of the page. So I want the tissue paper face down when I feed it, and then it goes through the printer and prints on my tissue paper. Make sense? Hopefully. Okay, before I put Mod Podge on the top of this, I got these fun little they're clickable rubber stamp letters. This is two sets. This is the capitals and the lowercase. You can kind of see these. And they're meant to all click together. I got these at Michael's, and they don't sell them in my store. They only sell them online. But so I use these and I put together the phrase. See, let me show you. They come apart and you click them together and you can make it say whatever you want. So this is what I put together. It says, "Oh, come let us adore him." And I want to put that on my sign. So I have a gold stamp pad, also from Michael's. I have a gold stamp pad, and let me get this paper because I want to practice it first. So I'm going to get some gold ink on the letters, and I'm going to try it first to make sure everything works. That did not work. Did that not work? Get any ink?
Hello, Susan from North Dakota.
Okay, so here's just kind of rustic letters. "Oh, come let us adore him." Let me try it again, make sure those better. It doesn't, I don't want to move it. So I'm going to put it on the back of this ornament.
Patty, she used tape to do that.
Didn't quite. I'm going to have to go back in with the D and the O. This is probably not completely flat. Looks good. I do have that D is not quite completely laid down, so I'm going to go in later and fix that D. In fact,
You can actually just pull it off there and
yeah, I'm going to repair that D right here. There we go. So, "Oh, come let us adore him." And now I'm going to put some Mod Podge over this one so it's sealed up.
Mod Podge would be good if you were to actually use that to hold on your table or something, because that is a cutting board, right? I mean,
It is. I'm not
everybody
going to
uses
use it as a cutting board, but It's just
Watch out, here comes Rocky. He's gonna come up
Rocky.
and help.
I am not a Christmas. We are so worried about putting up a Christmas tree this
I'm
year
not worried at all.
with this cat. Yeah, because you won't clean it up. You will leave it for me.
I would not.
Ow! Rocky.
That'll teach you. Your cat, you needed that cat.
Oh, I am out of time.
But the
Okay, and I just smeared my ink. So I'm going to fix that. Go any further, and then we are going to have to, no, are we? No, I have another 15 minutes. We started at 12:15, never mind.
You did get the stamps at Michael's?
I did get the stamps at Michael's, and that kind of, I didn't let it dry long enough. So I just wiped it off. And we'll go about Plan B another time. Okay.
Rose says, Devil Kitty, I love him.
Yes. Where is he? Is he here?
And
Come here.
then
Come here.
Sharon says, my cat loves my tree and lays under it.
Oh, he will not lie under it. Here is Rocky. Rocky the Tasmanian devil. Say hi, Rocky. Say hello. Oh. Okay.
Come
Down
here,
you
Rocky.
go. Down you go. Let's get this thing.
There are Mod Podge on top.
I don't know what that. Of some sort. Sort of goober got on
Says
there.
the Mod Podge smells, so my pup doesn't like it.
Oh, well,
That'll
it
keep
doesn't.
from
It
chewing
does
on
kind of have an odor. I don't find it horribly.
Come here, little monster. Jackie was asking, putting Mod Podge on top doesn't wrinkle the
And dried. Now, if I drenched it in Mod Podge, yeah, then it's gonna have an issue. But because it is hydrated and then dried Mod Podge down below, it's wrinkle up nearly as bad as just putting it on wet Mod Podge. A little section that's a little thick, so we're going to wait a little bit on that. And now what I'm going to do is I have my ink pad, and I'm just kind of go around the edges to kind of give it a gold finish. Just do the same thing here. I'm just laying it down just so it goes over the edge just a bit. And again, I got this at Michael's. It is just gold. It's one of the Oh, it's Recollections Archival Pigment Ink Pad. So I guess because it's archival, it should be not water soluble. And I can actually do all of the edges.
It says I have some triple thick. Will that work better than Mod Podge?
I
use it. What is triple thick?
Triple thick, it's a spray, right? Yeah, it would definitely work. I would just make sure that your Mod Podge is really dry before you put it on.
Yeah, and Susan said, I wonder if embossing clear would work on some of these projects. And she says some of that ink needs to be heated up. Don't know about. I know about embossing because I did that.
Yeah, the embossing inks where you use the embossing powder, it does need to be heated up. In fact, that's what my heat gun is actually an embossing gun. I'm just kind of giving my edges a gold treatment.
Jill says the one she has is not in a container, not a spray.
Okay. I would say same thing. A little bit thicker, just giving it a gold border. And let me see if I can hold it up. There's still some little wet spots on here, but you can kind of see the gold border on there. And there's still some areas that need to dry. And here's my ornament. Same thing, I just put some gold around the edges. Edges on the back. So let's put a ribbon on this. I've got some gold ribbon.
Carol went to work and she says, I'm at work now watching you. Ah, good. That works.
We won't tell. We won't tell anybody. Okay, so I've got some gold ribbon. I'm going to just punch it through that hole.
Oh, Susan says, yeah, that's what she was wondering, if the embossing powder would work on some of these projects. I'm sure
I would think so. Anything that could handle the heat. And I think you can also do embossing with an iron too. At least you used to be able to. But you could definitely write in the year, or if you had a phrase you wanted it to say and you didn't want to use the rubber stamps that didn't quite work out too well on this project. Come on, get in there. Well, come on. Trying to just tie a little slip knot, and it wants to slip.
Jennifer says in news, and now she's following the page. Well, thank you,
Hey,
Jennifer.
thank you. Okay, let me flip this around. You could add a bow to it if you were so inclined, or some ribbon, or some foliage, or some decor, but here is just a very basic Christmas ornament with our kneeling Santa. And this I could just leave to lean up on a shelf, but I think I'm gonna drill some holes in the top corners and kind of make a hanger for it. So somewhere I have handy dandy drill. Bill is very concerned that I am using his drill.
That's right, it's my drill.
Okay, so I'm just going to all the way through, and roughly the same spot here. So I've got my 2 holes at the top, and I have some gold cord that I think I will hang this with. And this is wanting to separate, so I'm going to make a little needle out of this. So I've got some tape. To tape it up, kind of do like one of those ferrules that are on your shoelaces. That didn't work. Wrap it up and kind of make a needle. Trim off that excess. That through there. And I think I'm going to tie it in the back. Trim the edges. So there, I can hang it. I could, if I wanted to, I don't know, I'm afraid of a bow might make it look a little too busy, but let's give it a try. Here, let's do just a simple bow. So I'm doing like the awareness bow and then scrunching it down, that in the middle, tie that off. I'm doing on time, running out of time, but we are just about done. So hopefully you are enjoying the Away in the Manger mini marathon, and I hope you enjoy the next presenter. We're finishing up here for just a second. And I hope you will follow us. I hope you'll follow Craft Around the Clock if you're new to Craft Around the Clock. Crafting all day long. Lots of fun themes now and again. And let me trim this. And I didn't turn on my glue gun, so I'm not going to glue this down. I'm just going to hold it so you can kind of see it. Let me dovetail. I'm not certain I'm going to keep this bow on here. We'll see how it looks. Maybe with shorter tails, so I don't want it. Or I could put the bow all the way up here. That would be cute. So, my cute little project, Kneeling Santa. If you haven't already, type in the word manger because our theme is Away in the Manger. And here are my 2 projects. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were inspired by this statue that inspires us and helps us keep in mind the true meaning of Christmas and still lets us enjoy the silliness of Santa and the other things, like the bow on the hanger. I think I may just keep it that way. So, Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And here at Raincross Farms Makery, we like to encourage you to do something creative every day and just have fun. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.